what did you take away from this preseason? Obviously, you guys got your first
We won.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a bunch of things. We're being aggressive. I think that's been the constant theme all preseason. And you look at, I fouled out today, trying to be aggressive, trying to set the tone defensively. I think our defense is ahead of our offense. I wouldn't say too far, but I think our defensively we've amped it up to such a high level, and I think offensively we're still figuring things out and getting better. But I think you showed it tonight. It showed it all preseason.
Do you feel like, especially with Darius and Max being out, that you guys are getting back to that defensive identity that you were known for in years past?
Yeah, even when they come back, we're going to continue it. I think just trying to use what we have. You got DeAndre Hunter out there, Evan Mobley, J.A., myself, Jalen Tyson. You got everybody out there making, trying to find ways to cause havoc on the defensive end. And, like I said, it's preseason, obviously, but, it was definitely nice to see for 4 games. We got to do it again when we start the year.
Kenny characterized the offense as clunky a few times,
Yeah.
and you talked about trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
What aspects are you
Well,
trying to work?
you're incorporating Dre now for a full season. Evans taking a step. You got myself. Sam's been out, now Sam's back. Jalen Tyson's figured out his role playing with us. So it's just a bunch of different things being thrown around, and this is what this is for. Hi, Dean. That's what this is for, trying to figure that out. And I think just being able to see what worked. I think we saw a lot from Zoe tonight. I think that was big. I think allowing him to create and be himself, and when I'm in with him, kind of getting off it and allowing him to make plays. That's something we saw. But we saw a lot of different things that work and some things that we can be better at. But that's the whole point of this preseason, to figure it out and kind of figure, rotations, figure out reads, all these different things.
How does what Lonzo was able to do tonight compare to what you guys expect of him when the real thing gets here and the kind of impact he can have?
We love 10 and 10 every night or whatever it was, but just to be able to push the pace, continue to find guys like the pass he had to Jay. He had a sequence where it was just phenomenal, and then we all fed off of that. So, and defensively, him being himself, we're all gonna, like I said, read him and kind of go off of him. And I think when you have a guy like that who could just see the floor and does a lot of different things, it really makes our game easy for us.
He's obviously getting acclimated to your guys, but with Zoe and Dean in particular, it looked like they had a 2-man game working together. Why do you feel like that combo works?
I think you got a guy that can roll, and Dean, he can pop. He's big. He's great at cutting. So, like I said, can do so many different things. And he was hitting his threes tonight. He's getting his legs under him, getting his legs back. So when you have so many different threats out of those two, and then you got myself, or you got J.A., or you got Evan on the backside, or Dre, teams are worried about us, and now there's more wide open shots on that side.
We've talked a lot in the past about Dean needing to have confidence for him to have success on the offensive end.
Yep.
Kenny talked about there's no hesitation anymore. Have you seen that this year?
I love it. I tell him he's the best shooter in the world every day. I think for him, the only thing I was mad about was the layup he shot fake and got bailed out with a foul. But the rebound he grabbed, he jumped really high and grabbed. Those are the little things. We're gonna need that out of him every night, and he wants it. And I think that's what's huge. And just continuing to empower him and give him confidence, because he's one of the best shooters, one of the best defenders in this league, and he goes out and shows it every night.
The team has talked a lot about wanting to see Evan do more offensively. Tonight he led the team in shot attempts, even though he didn't have an efficient night.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say about his development that he's willing to do that?
Yeah, you gotta want it, and I think you can tell he's a little bit tired tonight. So I kind of made sure we threw him the ball for the last 3 minutes of the first half, and figure those things out. That's what this is for. That's what we need him to be, that guy. Everybody's going to find hours in between, but I don't really care that he was whatever he was tonight. We need you to be aggressive. Now, if they're being physical and doing different things, there was one time I told him he missed Sam right behind him on the pull behind, but then he hit him right back on the next play. So being able to adjust really fast on the fly, that's what you're starting to see out of him. And then give him his credit. He's doing all the work. He's doing all the stuff behind the scenes, and we don't have to push him. He's the one that wants it every single night, which makes it easy for us to go out there and get what we need.
Donovan, you talk about ironing things out this time of year, and obviously last year you guys hit the ground running right when the season started. But with all those different moving parts you're still trying to sort of work through, is there a number of games that you guys kind of anticipate during the regular season that'll kind of take to get everything sort of rolling the way you want it to?
You want to peak at the right time. Yeah, if we start out 15-0, I'm not going to be mad. You know what I mean? But I think just piece by piece. We have 7 days of practice time before we get back to it. We got to use that time, and at that point, West will figure stuff out. But it's go time. Obviously, our expectation of everybody is what are we going to do in the playoffs? But we got to still go out there and handle our business on the floor. So I can't really say, hey, after 10 games we should be this. It's just hey, just building blocks until we get to April and then go.
Kenny said that he actually pointed out that Tyrese feels like a game changer, and when he comes in and he's only a rookie. So, are you feeling the same way when he gets in?
1,000%. It's nice, especially with CP and Reese, like to be able to come into a game and not have to be like, all right, I gotta go get the ball, like still going to the corner, and then it opens up stuff up for them. You know what I mean? If I'm being guarded by Asar Thompson tonight, you know, one of the weaker defenders are on them, so they're able to create, and then Asar Thompson's not impacting the game the way he typically would have. So when you have guys like that who are able to create and initiate the offense, find guys, especially for a rookie like that, that's big time. And you know, he's got it, and you're starting to see it every night. And he's gold. I like him, but he's figuring things out. But when you have a guy like that, you can kind of just say, hey, go and initiate and create. And once he figures things out, he's gonna be really good for us.
What was it about him that had you take him under your wing?
First of all, we have the same agent, so that definitely helps. But like I said, when you talk to somebody, you could tell like their mental and where they're at, and it didn't take long for me to kind of see that in him. And you know, he's pretty much been everywhere with me, and we've just created that bond and that vibe. And my agent told me like, hey, this is gonna be a kid, and I knew him obviously from Duke, but I didn't really know him. But just being able to have those conversations with him, I could tell where his head's at. The play is gonna be the play. We're gonna learn, do different things, and I'm gonna teach him different things, and he's gonna be able to, like, first thing he told me, we ran zone in practice. He's never run our zone. He's like, hey, talk to me on this so I can go under. I'm like, how the hell do you know you gotta go under? Like, you just got here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that just tells you who he is. On the flight from Chicago, I'm watching film from last year, and he's right behind me talking about, hey, what's this, what's that? Like, you know what I mean? He's not asleep. He's just trying to figure it out. Like, that tells you a lot about who he is, and I'm excited for his development.